Alright, what's up, good people? It's your guy Aaron, and you are joining me for another episode of Fatherhood is Dope. Now, I gotta be honest, I just got done stuffing my face with mic and Ike's per usual. So if my voice sounds a little funky, just blame it on the mic and Ike's. I'm a big fan of the original fruit flavor, so for you tropical guys and gals that eat those, I'll take a handful, but I'd rather have the green box. Anyway, listen, I want to bring you a special interview of me and my guy, Manny Gonzalez. Manny is a YouTuber and content creator who I met last year at the Dad Summit. And in a second, we're going to jump right into an interview that he and I recorded at the Dad Summit. Now, I got to warn you that we shot this interview in the middle of the Dad Summit in a hotel lobby and on Canal Street in New Orleans. And so you're gonna hear some elevator or lobby music in the background. So it's okay. It's just like a good friendly tune that'll get you through the entire interview. Because I want to get back to the Mike and Ike's and I want to get you to this story, let's jump right into this interview with my guy, Manny Gonzalez from The Way I Dad. Manny, you're really a YouTuber.
I am.
And it's called The Way I Dad. And it's really cool. And I've seen a few of his videos or your videos, and I'm really inspired. Let's just start off by telling everyone a little bit about The Way I Dad, and why were you inspired to do that for fatherhood?
Right. So, The Way I Dad is a predominantly visual resource, and what I do is I take a topic, let's say how to deal with a picky eater, and then I do the research on how to deal with that. And kind of summarize that and break it out for people. The goal at the beginning was just to try to identify what common issues that fathers have and give them some advice on it. There's a lot of voice in the mommy blogger world, but there's not a lot of dads, and so I wanted to give that dad perspective because I feel like I could create content that would resonate with them. As a working dad, I know that time is precious, so I wanted to create things that could be watched in the break room, that could be watched. You're sitting in the parking lot, you got 5 minutes, you're thinking about it, you want to come home and deal with the problem. At least you got time to ponder it throughout the day. That's where I wanted to go with it. Yeah.
I want to ask the significance of, being a minority male in this dad space in America. What does that mean to you to show those visuals of fatherhood with your boys?
Absolutely. So my wife is French, okay, which she's a white female, and my boys are therefore these Caribbean-looking people.
What's your nationality?
I'm Hispanic. I'm Mexican.
Okay.
Yeah. Both my parents are Mexican. My dad is from Mexico.
Do you speak Spanish?
I do not. And the reason I don't is because my parents decided that they weren't going to teach me Spanish because they didn't want me to have an accent. Yeah. We grew up in a cow town, very small town outside of Houston, and they didn't want me to be judged by people. Yeah. And so they didn't teach me Spanish. It's unfortunate. It's also on me, right? I could have easily learned Spanish by now, and I just haven't. That's on me. So, instead of 2 languages, my kids could be speaking 3.
Well, side note, when you go anywhere in South America, you're going to get the side eye.
I am. I always do. There's this taco shop in Dallas, and it's a real tight, it's a spot at a gas station, but they have the best tacos next to the botanical garden. And the lady speaks English, and she will speak to people who are coming there in English. But if I try to speak to her in English, she gets mad at me and refuses to talk to me in English. And I know enough Spanish to order, but people expect if you say no, I don't speak Spanish, they think that you're lying to them. Perfect example, I was at the airport and some guy was trying to get some help, and I was like, I'm sorry, I don't speak Spanish, and he was mad, super pissed, thought I was lying to him. So it has 2 things. It has 2 things, right? You're a judge from both fronts. To be blunt, right? From a white perspective and from the people of your culture, from a Hispanic perspective. I'm judged on both sides. In my last job, I had a lady tell me that I am geographically, she didn't use geographically because she's not that smart, but dislocated. She said, I don't belong to any nation. I'm not American and I'm not Mexican. And what's funny about that is it's true, man. I don't feel like I have a demographic to belong to other than I'm a dad and I'm a minority. And those things have really resonated with me. And I've really attached to that. But at the end of the day, I don't have a culture that I can feed to my children. Does that make sense?
So to bring it all back around, I guess, it really, I can see what the end result is, but I guess I kind of want you to articulate why it's important for you to be in this space, for your face to be, because you have, it's yours, you're a YouTuber, so it's visuals, and they get to visually see you as a Mexican man, a Mexican American. You identify as a Mexican American?
I do.
As a Mexican American.
Chicano, yeah.
With your boys, like, what does that mean for you? Like, what's the significance?
So the big thing is, in most movies, Hispanics are portrayed as either gangsters or drug dealers, right? Like, we don't get to be a lot of things. I want to be the voice of, it's okay to go to college. It's okay to have a professional career, and it's okay to be a dad and be present and be there for your children and for your family and for your spouse. That's the big thing that I wanted to come across on YouTube. Like, hey, there's a lot of Anglo-Americans that are a part of this dad universe, but there's also a lot of Hispanics, and we do a great job as well. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. All right, so let's just get into like fatherhood. So tell me a little bit about your sons.
Okay. Yeah. So I have a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and I have one on the way in March. My older one is very sporadic. I would say he's the most like me. Very anxious, very short-tempered. His French teacher in French had described him as having a very Mediterranean temperament. I don't know what that means, but apparently I have it as well, according to my wife.
I don't know what that means either, but it's laughable.
Fuse, I think. Okay. Yeah. But it is laughable, right? Like you can describe a whole culture by like a temperament. But anyway, that's besides the point. And then my youngest one, he's an eater. He looks the most like me. And he likes to chill. Like he's a very like relaxed kid. He's like me in that he likes things a certain way, very clean. Whereas the older one's like me in that he's very creative. He likes to tell stories to himself. You know, like he'll play with his toys and creates these whole worlds. And he's only 4 years old, man. So I'm interested to see how this other one turns out.
Yeah. Well, so I know that you are a hard-working man. That you're doing everything right to provide for your wife and your children. But I guess I kind of want to ask, about work-life balance for you, because I don't think that you are as unique in that space as the majority, a large percentage of men who have rigorous work schedules, demanding jobs where they have to be, they're high performers and they have to do that on their jobs. And so I guess my question to you is like, how do you find that balance between being a high performer on your job and still finding the quality time to spend with your wife and your children? And it's okay if you're not right now, but I guess I want to address that because so many of us, myself included, deal with that.
I pause because the answer is not easy. It's sacrifice. Like I probably don't sleep as much as I should be, right? Like 4 to 6 hours, and I work from 2 to 10, 2 to midnight sometimes, right? So I get to spend that morning. I have a solid morning, and I chose to do that because I want to have breakfast with my kids. To me, that's the most important meal of the day. I like waking up to them, making pancakes, letting my wife sleep in, letting her relax, play with my kids, relax, go to work. And then while they're sleeping, then I'm at work. So I'm doing my thing. And then if I come home at 10, then I'm cleaning the house for my wife because I want her to wake up to a nice clean house. And if I come home at midnight, then I'll do a little bit and go to bed. And then somewhere in between that, usually the weekend, I find that time for myself, right? Like this YouTube, this Instagram, making video, making photos, that helps me separate, right? Like especially just to detach from everything that I do. Cleaning does the same thing. Like when I'm cleaning, I get to relax. I get to focus on something that doesn't take too much thought, right? It's a structure. It's like boom, boom, boom. You got to do this, this, and this, and it lets me pause. That's my meditation. But back to your question, right? Like it's sacrifice. There's a give and take. Like you can't do it all. You can't sleep 8 hours and be a high performer at work. and be the best dad that you can be. I don't have a lot of friends either, right? I have friends, it's because I moved to Minneapolis, but I probably could do a better job of getting out if I wasn't so busy.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but I think it is about the work-life balance. And I guess one thing I want to address is that we all have seasons of life.
Yeah.
And when you say you don't have many friends, you've been in Minneapolis, 5 months now? 5
months, yeah.
And you moved from Dallas or Houston? Houston. And so, you're in the season where I know you have to perform on the job right now and then still spend time. So I do just want to encourage you by saying that there's different seasons of life.
Right.
And if nothing else, while we're here, we're a band of brothers.
And that's true, man.
Yeah.
That's true. Like, that's what I live off of, right?
Yeah.
Like, I got you guys during the year, and I will always have you guys because we live in a very new world, a very technological world that's global.
Yeah, let's. I want you to just speak on that a little bit. So, what does that mean to have this band of brothers through social media, through YouTube and Instagram and Twitter and all of the other mediums?
What that means for me is that I don't have to go and make a fake relationship. I can reach out to men that I respect, that I can find a common bond with, and I'm not forcing we both like beer. Yeah. Let's hang out. Yeah. No, it's, hey, we both love being fathers, and we both love teaching people how to be a better dad. Like that. For me, that's the thing that resonates most with me in this conference. Yeah,
no, that's solid. So I know you may have heard some little background noise. So we're currently sitting in the lobby knocking this out, but I'm appreciative of Manny's candor and his vulnerability in this space because, I don't even know if we knew what we were going to talk about, but no. I know it's important. At the end of the day, my agenda with Fatherhood is dope is to just celebrate fatherhood 365 days out of the year and to highlight men who have answered the call to fatherhood. I've got to ask you, what makes you proudest about being a father?
So, my dad and I did not have the best relationship, and that is my fault.
Say that again.
My dad and I did not have the relationship that we should have, but that is my fault.
Wow. Okay. Before you go any further, you said it's your fault. When did you accept that it was your fault?
When I was 27, 28.
Okay. I know it's a process. That's why I just wanted to highlight that.
It took me from the time that we had our first real fight. Yeah. To the time that he and I made up and made that relationship where we were actually, the first time that we said I love you to each other was 28.
Wow. That's 28. Powerful.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
Yeah, man.
Go ahead.
And that was rough, man. What the problem was from 1 to 18, he was always pushing me to do better. And he had a short temper like me. So his answer of dealing with things was yelling and being quick. No, this is the way you're going to do it. Yeah. This is the way you got to do it. Suck it up, do it, right? Yeah. When I wanted to quit football, it was a huge fight that we had.
Let me compartmentalize something real quick based on something I just heard you say. I'm going to give you 3 categories, and I want you to answer A, B, or C. Yeah. So based on what I'm hearing so far, I want to ask you, do you think you grew up in more of a fear-based atmosphere, performance-based, or was it grace-based?
Well, I'm gonna answer that with A and B. Okay. If I didn't perform, I was yelled at. Yeah. And I don't blame my dad. I don't, because he didn't have a dad. His dad died at 5. When he was 5, his dad died, so he had nobody to teach him how to be a So his mom raised him, and how she dealt with that, because she was a shorter lady. She's 4'5", 4'6". Yeah. The way that she did that was she intimidated him by yelling at him, right? And so that's the way he grew up to be a parent, and it is different now. And I think he knows that. He changed with the way he dealt with my sisters. He's a softer man. Yeah.
Are your sisters younger or older?
Younger. Yeah. So I have one that's 4 years younger than I am, and one that's 2 that are 11 years younger than I am. And he's a completely different man, even the way I see him raising or helping out with my kids. I think mortality also plays a big deal with it. I think he knows that if he doesn't calm down, then he is prone to heart attack, because that's where his dad died, right? I don't know. Long story short, man, so I was a shithead in college. I was in the ROTC in college. And for the first 2 years, I dealt with the regiment.
Yeah.
And then one summer I just broke down and I was like, I can't do that anymore. And I completely rebelled the other side, and he didn't like that. And so the way he dealt with it was yelling at me in a car in front of everybody. And so I stopped talking to him for 3 years.
Wow.
We didn't talk. And we had little conversations in there, but mostly it was filtered through my mom.
Yeah.
And then I graduated, and he was proud of me. So he tried to help me get a job, and I said, no, I don't need you.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I had kids that we mended, that we came to a common ground and a common place where I need you, and I need you to help me out, and I need your advice on this, and this. And once I came to him as a resource, that's when things changed.
All right, so I got to get you out of here. We're coming to a close, but based on the backdrop of your experience with your father, what's your hope for your children?
Yeah. So the hope is that they grow up to be calm human beings that know how to handle difficult situations. I don't know how to handle them properly. My father doesn't know how to handle them properly. And Hispanics are known for machismo.
What does that mean?
So it's short-temperedness.
Yeah.
I can do this by myself. I don't need anybody, right? That's what we're known for. I don't want them to be those people.
Say that word again.
Machismo. 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 We're just we're stubborn, right? We don't need anybody's help. We can do it on our own. And our wives cannot help us out. But it wasn't until I accepted that I realized, hey, I can't do the finances on my own. And once I accepted that, that's when my wife was like, hey, now that we've had this fight about where we are financially, let's talk about how we can fix it. Right? I've unloaded that. It's been a couple years of growth for me to get to that point, man. But I am there now, and I blame my kids for that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we're coming to a close here, and before I let you go, I do want you to just tell the folks where they can just see more of you and The Way I Dad.
Yep. So I'm on YouTube at youtube.com/thewayidad. You can find me on Instagram. Those are my two main platforms. But then I also speak at another conference called Latino Dad, and that's kind of the same thing. We're trying to reshape how the media in different countries look at Latino fatherhood and minorities in fatherhood.
Man, I'm so proud of you for answering the call to fatherhood, and for redefining what fatherhood means for you, your culture, and for the rest of us. So I'll be watching you on YouTube at The Way I Dad, where you tell me why I should buy Smarty Pants vitamins for for my baby girl.
Yeah.
So no, it's been real. We want to keep doing this. Our goal is to highlight men, fathers who have answered the calls to fatherhood. So yeah, we're going to keep them coming. Fatherhoodisdope.com.
Thanks, Aaron.
Of course. And now it's time for the harsh reality, when you realize that your interview with Manny Gonzalez has ended, and so has the box of Mike and Ike's. Yes, I have made it to the bottom of the box of Mike and Ike, so that means that I have to go. Manny Gonzalez from The Way I Dad, thank you, my friend, for sitting down with me. I'm looking forward to the day where we get to do this again. Now, if you like what you're hearing, please subscribe to the podcast. Fatherhood is Dope, the podcast. Wherever podcast is available, click the subscribe button and share it. And then just follow us on all of our social media outlets at Fatherhood is Dope. And of course, fatherhoodisdope.com. I am Aaron McGee, your honorable host. Thank you for allowing me to do this, and thank you for joining me. I look forward to being back with you for the next episode of Fatherhood is Dope, the podcast. Until next time, peace.